Hello and welcome to Drive and Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into today's episode, be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Drive and Double Feature Podcast. We have tons of bonus content over there just for $5 a month. You help support the show and you get all this fun extra stuff, and it's uncut, unrated. It's like it's a 2007 comedy DVD. It gets filthy, right?
Yeah, it's like a 1970s X-rated movie.
Not that nasty.
Well, no, like Midnight Cowboy or something.
Okay. Not triple X-rated. X-rated.
No, yeah,
like Felix the Cat.
Orange. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That sounds good. That's the perfect way to put it. But let's get into this Tuesday's episode with 1978's Laserblast, which is directed by Michael Rae and his one and only movie. According to Wikipedia, on Letterboxd, he does have two movies, but the other one only has 6 viewers. So I don't know how real that movie is.
Do you think he's one of the Letterboxd reviewers?
Probably. We're going to hunt down this director. For more reasons than just being a fan. It's
yeah,
to get him,
to
take him out. No,
just so he doesn't. Maybe that's why he didn't make another one. Somebody got to him already.
Yeah, probably. Well, Laserblast is a kind of a B movie classic. I had forgotten about this movie when I picked it. It was once again one that I looked at the poster. I was like, this looks wild. I forgot the reason I put it on here. It's a really notorious bad movie. It's considered one of the worst movies of all time. And I just knew that Charles Band was tied to it. And we haven't talked about Full Moon Productions or Charles Band in a while. So I thought, why not get back to one of his classics? I know how much you loved our last Charles Band movie.
What was it? Evil Bong?
Yeah, Evil Bong.
Evil Bong and Trancers.
Trancers. And this is way before he was making anything related to Evil Bong.
Wasn't there another one we didn't do or whatever? Like, what? There was another. I swear to God, there was another one.
I'm sure he popped up. Those are the only two I remember.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, when I saw the name, because I remember this from, I saw the Mystery Science Theater episode, but I never classified it as having seen this movie because we talked about this off air. Was that I don't consider watching a Mystery Science Theater episode watching the movie.
No, not at all.
So this was technically my very first time watching the movie for the movie as it was.
Oh, gotcha. Without people talking over it.
Well, I mean, I always like people talking over my movies anyway.
Yeah, no, anytime I go to the theater and there's people talking in my theater, I don't count it as watched.
Well, I mean, I just invite people over to my house and I let them talk, and while I'm trying to watch a movie.
You're just shushing them the whole time. Shut up! I'm trying to. But then you paid them to keep talking during the movie. It's a part of the experience.
I say don't. No matter how many times I tell you to shut up, just keep talking,
and I'll pay you even more.
Yeah,
it's just fun for me to shush people.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Laserblast is a movie. It's kind of insane. This movie. Just right from the get-go, we get probably the best part of the movie, which I've seen this noted other places, is the aliens, which are stop-motion aliens. They look like a Ray Harryhausen kind of deal. They move very interestingly. They also have big butts, which is true. They have like giant, like little, like they almost look like ant butts in a way.
Please keep describing this.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. They just these aliens have big butts and giant black eyes, and they're tall too, right? Well, their size changes. At first, they seem kind of like normal sized, but by the end of the movie, they're as tall as like a skyscraper.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like they start out like they're walking in a desert, like they're the size of maybe like a tall human, and then at the end of the movie, they're on top of a skyscraper, looking like King Kong from the 1976 King Kong poster.
Yeah, exactly. There's no regard for size. But anyway, the movie opens up with like this zombie looking dude with green face paint running around the desert, and the aliens kill him. And instead of cleaning things up, they see a helicopter and are like, we got to get out of here. Let's get out of here. So they leave behind their laser gun. And that's the name of the movie, Blast. We get
Laser
Kim
gun.
Laser gun, yeah. We get Kim Milford, which every time I read that name, unfortunately, I just think of I think, no, I don't need to look at the female stars. Female star, I gotta look at the male star, which is kind of messed up of me.
Hey,
Or
guys could be
Kim.
named Kim.
Now a lot of guys are named that.
Uh,
But
well, I wanted like that opening scene, like yeah, they kind of foreshadow what's going to happen later in the movie. But
yeah,
so they go in there because I guess, well, none of these aliens you can hear what they're talking about, and there's
no.
scenes where they talk and there's no
Mhm.
subtitles, and you just
I
there's like,
was wondering that.
well, yeah, well, I mean, even in the Mystery Science Theater, I think that was a joke, but yeah, that was like the whole like deal is like they have like these long talking sequences where they don't tell you what they're saying, which I mean it's not really complicated to figure out what they're saying, but
Yeah.
still it's just like a little awkward, just like rah, 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 and just a little weird. But they go in, they kill that one guy that has the original laser,
Hmm.
and I'm like, they just leave it there. Like I don't
Oh
understand
yeah,
that bit.
huge plot hole. Like, or maybe not a plot hole, but like just a really dumb occurrence that sets up the plot is that, oh, this thing that infected a human on Earth already. Let's just leave it. Whatever. Who's gonna get it again? It's a really, really dumb, dumb
Well,
plot point.
because the whole point is they're killing this person because they're being controlled by the laser, and I guess
Hmm.
that's their invention or their something that like it fell into the wrong hands. They don't ever explain this. These aliens are
They don't talk.
they don't talk and they don't really affect the plot until the very end of the movie.
Yeah, that's the thing is I said they were cool, but like they're hardly in this movie. They have a scene at the beginning. There's kind of one where they have to turn around in their UFO that looks like something from like Battlestar Galactica. And then they come in the end of the movie to take out him. That and like otherwise this movie has funny bits. I'll be honest, there's some great comedy moments, but good God, this movie can be so boring. Like I was so tired of it at a certain point.
Yeah,
It,
I
it
got really bored, but a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's some like I was wanting it to be a lot more kookier, like with
mhm,
like he like blasting the gun and all that, and they do kind of do that at the end where he goes on a rampage,
mhm,
but it takes a long time to get there. And when they
mhm.
do it, they play it completely straight. Like it's like this
Yeah,
super serious music. Like it's like
yeah,
he's so tortured, and oh my god, this poor human being.
yeah. It's no fun. It's like the least like, and it's also like maybe the most low key explosions because like other than the cars that explode, he's like what blowing up mailboxes,
Mm-hmm.
things on the street. Like it's so like uninteresting. Obviously, it's due to budget constraints, but still, it's like, man, they could have done this so much better.
And apparently, this guy doesn't own a shirt, but he does own a blazer, and he wears the blazer, and that's it.
Yeah, of course.
That's my signature look. I always wear a blazer with no shirt on.
Yeah, you're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but this guy, he kind of looks like I think I know why they got him. To me, he looks a little like Mark Hamill, but like a really dumb Mark Hamill in a way.
Well,
Um,
it's funny. He was actually in Corvette Summer with Mark Hamill.
don't never even heard of that movie.
That's like the movie he made like around the same time as Star Wars.
Huh?
Oh,
Which is
well, I mean that's just on the. I thought that this was related. Like I'm like, oh, like yeah, two shitty B actor movies and two shitty B movies. It's like
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm sure Star Wars is very similar to this one, which is funny because I guess we'll bring it up
I
now.
I hope there's some aliens with big butts in Star Wars.
Oh, I hope so too. But later in the movie, he blows up a Star Wars billboard because I mean, this is '78. We're fresh off of like some type of fever, sci-fi fever, and there's a Star Wars billboard, and this man blows it up in the
Well,
movie.
it was from Silent Running. People were obsessed with Silent Running.
Oh, that makes sense. I was obsessed with that movie after I saw it.
Yeah.
But so the way this movie sets up is this it's supposed to be a revenge movie. So the production segment of this movie on Wikipedia has tons of like links and like tons of information about the making of this movie, which is like really surprising. And Charles Band describing this movie makes it sound like something completely different because he considers this like a revenge film, which yeah, sure it is, but it doesn't really it doesn't
Is
feel
it?
like I guess like he hates his mom because his mom goes to like some other place. See, they set it up.
No, that was funny. That part was funny. Like when it's like, Mom, you're going to Acapulco. She's like, it's like, Billy, of course I'm gonna go to Acapulco. He's like, when are you gonna stop going to Acapulco? When they stop having me, Billy.
Yeah, no, it's good, but like I did not understand how that was like as Charles Band puts it, being in a bad home. Like he describes this, yeah, he's abandoned by his mother, and it demonstrates the dangers that can result from uncaring parents, which is one of the major themes of this movie.
Abandoned. He's like 25.
Yeah, he's like an adult. That's a thing. I was actually in that scene, like, man, this guy still lives at home. You usually don't see that in movies. Like people that are almost 30 living with their parents still, like not really in the movies.
do, do you think they meant for him to be like a teenager? Like he's supposed to be a teenager?
I think so. I think he's meant to be a lot younger than what he looks like.
Because I just Googled it and he's was born in 51. And when you say 78, this movie was made?
Yeah. Probably
So
filmed
yeah,
77, right?
right. So yeah, 25, 26 is when this movie was being filmed.
Yeah, and I think he's supposed to be younger than that because they like throw like a pool party at one point, and him and his girlfriend go out to a pool party. Which there's like a nerdy character in this movie.
Eddie
Um,
Deason.
yeah,
Big
Eddie Deason.
Froggy.
Yeah, shows up in this movie, and I guess the timeline was wrong in my head as far as like when this was made. I was like, oh man, he was doing this, and because he's in I Want to Hold Your Hand. He's in 1941. Fun
Grease.
Grease as well. And I was like, wow, this is like right after they're right in the middle of this. No, this is right before that, which it's
Well,
just
no,
interesting.
isn't this after Grease? Or is this
Uh
the same year as Grease?
it's the same year as Grease, and according to Eddie Deason, I think this was filmed before Grease.
Oh, thank God. And we wouldn't want this tarnishing his Grease career.
No. Yeah, then he wouldn't be able to be in 1941. Everyone remembers that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
but
but no, I always like him because he always has a very unique voice.
oh yeah, no,
And
he's great.
yeah, I mean, I remember hearing his voice for the first time when I was a kid in the Dexter's Lab. He always played Mandark, like his rival.
Yes, yes,
And
you're absolutely right.
and so that's where I remember him from. And he's also one of the kids in Polar Express.
Yeah, yeah, he's playing one of the iconic kids that everyone still talks about to this day.
Yeah, exactly. But
Uh,
I just think it's funny. Like he's supposed to be like this, like a lackey or whatever to this big goon or whatever. But
mhm.
he's it's like because we're jumping way ahead, but they get into like a fight and he tries to fight and he's so ineffective. Like Billy just keeps like shoving him and he just flies backwards.
Well, I guess that's at the pool party that we brought up because like
Yeah,
him and this guy, they're trying
Chuck.
to Chuck, yeah, thank you. They're trying to assault his girlfriend. Like Billy here, he's like looking around the house like, oh, where did she go? I can't find her. And then they're like kind of like yanking on her arms and legs, right? When he shows up and he has to like fight them off of her.
Yeah, I will say to this movie's credit for the time frame, most movies that this happen, like Billy would like get mad at her or think it's like something is wrong with her,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
like she does like almost get assaulted by these guys, and
Mm-hmm.
he gets them away, and then they beat him off together, and she's like, I'm so sorry, Billy, I'm so sorry, and he's like, no need to apologize, you didn't do anything. And I'm just like, oh, that's really unexpected for this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to go down the same route as well. But yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit before that, we get introduced to characters that I kind of wish were in the movie longer. I mean, they're kind of stupid. I probably would have hated them if they're in the movie longer. They're probably in there the right amount. The two Southern cops in this
Mm-hmm.
movie, the two that are on the side of the road, and one of them is just smoking like a blunt,
Yeah,
and he's just like, and the other cop is just like he's very against it, and then at the end he's like finally finally just give me a hit, and
yeah,
he puts it to his lips, and he's instantly like like can't even handle it.
well, yeah, the guy's like, it's like, man, I get it for free, I just steal it off the kids, like
Yeah. And then they
that.
go on a car chase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they keep talking like this is a revenge. I'm like, I guess like they act like he got revenge against these cops. I'm like, Billy was driving like a crazy person, like on the
Yeah,
road, like
that's the way it
like
seems, is he's just an awful driver.
like, and I'm like, because I know it's supposed to be like, oh, these darn cops, like they're just ruining Billy's good time. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Billy was driving like a crazy person, and they're just like he
Yeah,
deserved to get pulled over.
but yeah, and that scene ends really sillily where like they cause like a wreck, but it looks so orchestrated. The camera's out and the cars move in just the right way to make a wreck happen. It's just really silly.
Didn't the cops like I'm trying to recall, did he at the end of the scene where like the two cops, did he say I'll drive, or he say like, oh, I'm high or something because he took one puff of that
I,
joint or
I
whatever?
think so. I think he says I'm high, which
Yeah.
he didn't even take a puff. It was like on his mouth. He didn't
Yeah.
breathe anything in.
He inhaled secondhand smoke from from a lit joint.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and then the movie, I guess it goes into a more of a supernatural route because he starts using the gun and it causes what, like a
Well,
metal thing? Oh, what's up?
I want to talk about when he finds it at
Oh, yeah,
first,
that's true. Yeah.
because he finds the gun like exactly where that last guy died. Like it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
moved or anything. It's not like tucked away. It's still out in the open.
Yeah.
And he immediately just picks this up, and he knows how to use it. He just like immediately slips it onto his arm, and he's just
Yeah.
like, again, like he's 25, and he starts like placing. He's like,
Blowing stuff up. Yeah. And
and
and you're right. He knows how to slip this thing on, even though it's like a really weird contraption. You have to like stick your whole arm into this gun to get it to work, it looks like.
yeah, yeah, it's like a clear PVC tube or something. It's just like
Yeah.
you have to like stick your arm in there. Like I mean, I wouldn't think like, oh, let me just stick my arm in this thing and just
Yeah, you will not see me sticking my arm in a mysterious contraption that's just sitting in the desert.
But yeah, well, he eventually figures out he has to wear this weird necklace. So like that's the only way it works is this necklace. Well, that's the other thing too. Like he doesn't need to technically wear the necklace. He just has to have the necklace near the gun because he holds like the necklace above the laser, and it
Mm-hmm.
does shoot. So I'm like, technically, he didn't have to wear that necklace. He
Yeah,
could have
which
just like wore it like a bracelet, maybe.
yeah, because that's what's causing damage to him, right? Causing him to have like this metal implant in his chest or whatever.
Well, it starts out as like this weird rash looking thing because his girlfriend was
Yeah.
like, "It's like that looks pretty angry. You should take care of that, Billy."
Yeah. And they go see their doctor. Roddy McDowell is in this movie for 2 minutes, which is, I think that's weird. So, since this is a revenge movie, right? Like a quote unquote revenge movie, all he goes to the doctor And then Roddy's like, you know what? I'm going to drive this in at midnight tonight and we're going to figure out what this is. And so the Billy here, oh, I'm going to blow up the car. You know what? This is my vengeance for you trying to help me. I'm going to kill you.
Well, that's I'm like, oh, who is he getting revenge against? I mean, like maybe the
Revenge against the
bull,
world, dude.
maybe he gets yeah. I mean, the only people like the bullies, kind of wronged him, but like
Yeah.
they're very ineffective.
No, exactly. And I mean, like at first he blows up the bully's car and they aren't in it. And they actually get insurance on it, which is I thought that was a funny little line where it's like, where Froggy brings up, like, oh, yeah, thank God the lightning story worked so we could get this really nice new car. But Billy blows up that car, too, with them in it this time.
Yeah, that time they're in it. Yeah.
Yeah. God, does anything happen in between there? Okay, so there's
the cops die.
The cops die. There's a subplot about a man from like the government trying to solve the mystery of who's got the gun, which that was what I tuned out. I thought
did they even pay that off? Because I feel like,
no.
Or did I just zone out completely at that?
From what I remember, no, it did not pay off. Or I think it doesn't pay off because the mystery, we already know it. It's not like anything like interesting. It's not like, oh, we gotta figure out who's doing this. No, I mean, we know the whole time who has the gun. It's just not, it's not interesting.
No, I mean, so it's just a lot of scenes where it's like character doing stuff or whatever, nothing of note, or like, or just trying to move the plot along, or like, we got to figure out where this laser's coming from, and then Billy stops him the next scene or whatever and blows him up. That's what happens.
Exactly. And we get in this like pattern. It's very cyclical of this happening and over and over and over again. And then like and there's even the one bit where his girlfriend's dad, I mean, this is really early in the movie, where the girlfriend's dad is like, get off my lawn or whatever. And that happens.
Yeah, he's like I guess like a PTSD like general or something. Like he just he or a colonel. They kept calling him
the colonel.
Yeah, and he's like, but yeah, he's like that again. Like that has no relevance whatsoever. It's just her dad's kind of kooky or whatever, and they end up having sex like in the middle of the woods in a sleeping bag.
Yep, that does happen.
But yeah, at the end, like she finds a necklace and she puts it on Billy, and then Billy goes into a rampage, and that's the whole rest of the movie for another like 20 minutes.
And I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, how am I going to describe this? Because it's literally this man in green face, like he looks like a zombie, and he's just blowing crap up, and it's not fun in the slightest. It is very uninteresting,
super long, super drawn out. Just it's like I said, not fun in the least bit. It's just it's played out like this like really super serious scene, like it's like, oh my god, this is so tragic what's happening to Billy, like can you believe this?
With a character that I don't care about in the slightest.
Well, no, he doesn't have a personality to begin with, and it's like I haven't seen him do anything of note. I mean, even if he does have like a crappy home life, I mean, none of this is justified in any sort of manner.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. If Charles Band really was going for a revenge plot, it's not sold well here. It doesn't work well because like he compared it to like Death Wish and stuff like that, where Death Wish, it's very exactly. That is very, very apt, because like Death Wish is very strong with, this is the reason I'm taking my revenge on people. This does not have a very strong like, I'm depressed, I'm unhappy, this is why I'm doing this.
Or I mean, like, and even in Death Wish, like those characters that he takes revenge on, I mean, it's like they are like the scum
Oh,
of the
they're
earth.
horrible. Yeah.
Like they do like the most heinous acts ever. It's like where you're rooting for him to kill them at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
But in this one, it's like I'm like, yeah, I guess they're maybe kind of jerks, but they're not. Not enough to kill them over.
Yeah, and and I mean, like his death, Billy's death, is very boring because aliens just come. They're as tall as, like you said, King Kong on the poster, and shoot and just shoot him.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the aliens were getting revenge.
See, that makes a little more sense that that's a vengeance story.
Maybe
Yeah.
that was the case because
You know what? I let's just talk to Charles Band. Do you think? I bet you he would do an interview with us.
you think so.
I think so. I think so. We could just do like a full moon month or something. That sounds awful. That sounds
No, it sounds great, Charles Band. We'll do
yeah,
that.
Charles Band. I love Puppet Master. Please, let's do all the Puppet Masters and Evil Bong movies.
Yeah, and Ginger Dead Man.
Oh yes, I love it, and the crossovers too.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. Like I didn't expect like for a movie with this crazy of a premise where it's like a kid with a laser blowing people up. You'd think like, oh man, this is going to be a wild ride, but it's like it's played so straight, and
mhm.
I'm like, man, I don't understand why they went in this direction.
Yeah, no, I agree. This movie is just kind of devoid of fun. It's almost like, think about the later movies of Full Moon, like Transfers. It plays a little more into the B movie angle of it. Has a little more fun with the concept. Here, there's no fun here. It plays itself way too seriously, and it's just non-entertaining B movie. Um, and I do have to say, I love this quote from Variety. They did a review of this movie. If Steven Spielberg advanced the likelihood of intelligent extraterrestrial life in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, then Charles Band sets it back 20 years with his production of Laserblast. Like, dang, that's brutal. But
Damn.
there's one. Go ahead. I think you had something to bring up to this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, Nathan. I mean, there's some people that didn't mind this movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one was Leonard Maltin. You're aware of who Leonard Maltin is, right?
Of course, of course. Very, very famous movie critic, right? I guess.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think we all, we all have our very specific taste. We have our own hot takes about what we
Mm-hmm.
think of movies. Now, Leonard Maltin did give this movie 2.5 stars
Yeah.
out of 4 stars.
Yeah. So
So
like that's actually like okay.
that's like at that. I mean, out of a 4 star scale, that's like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, which is like
But
way more than this movie
yeah,
deserves.
yeah, that'd be like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, or
Yeah.
Letterbox, that would be like a 3, 3.5.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna read his review. He gave it a 3.5 stars. He said, low budget sci-fi with teen Milford finding alien ray gun, which enables him to become a creature who can destroy his enemies. David Allen stop motion effects are a highlight. So
That's the thing. That's why I never loved Leonard Maltin, because his like books are all like it's pretty much all synopsis with like one line of like
yeah,
something he
there's
liked.
there's exactly one opinion out of the out of that whole
Yeah.
thing.
I never loved reading his stuff anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But so this next part, so like I said, they did do the review on Mystery Science Theater, and this bit is totally stolen directly from them.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember in that scene at the very end, they actually go to Leonard Maltin's book, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually start naming movies that Laser Blast is technically better than.
Well, I will say I've never seen that episode of Mystery Science Theater, so
Yeah.
but that is really funny.
So they read each individual movie. It's like, okay, so these movies that I'm going to read to you, they are all under 2.5 stars. So technically, that means that Laserblast is better than these movies in Leonard Maltin's opinion.
Yeah.
So
Let's go. I gotta hear this.
all right. So Laserblast is technically better than Being There, the
Yeah, he would think
Peter
so.
the Peter Sellers Hal Ashby
Classic.
movie. Uh, In the Name of the Rose, the Sean Connery uh,
What?
Renaissance monk movie.
Yeah, people love that movie.
Yeah. Temple of Doom.
Wow. Wow. I mean, like, I know people don't like Temple of Doom, but
uh, at one bit that they did not do on Mystery Science, because that was like in the 90s, they didn't put modern movies, so I did put more
oh,
modern
nice.
movies on here. It's better than Sin City.
Really? What did he give Sin City?
I think like a 1.5 or something.
Good God. Okay.
Laser Blast is technically better than The Dark Knight.
You gotta be kidding me. No way. What did he give Dark Knight like a 2?
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Dark Knight. That movie's like people, like that's like whatever. But that's very wrong.
The Prestige.
Does he not like Nolan?
I guess not. Yeah, technically. Okay, Memento. Yeah, also on there.
Wow, he's like the anti-film bro.
Escape from New York.
What? I thought you were gonna say Escape from LA, and I was like, all right, whatever. Which I'm sure he thinks that too.
Caddyshack. Which, I mean, that one's, I guess, maybe whatever. But
I mean, Caddyshack's funny. I don't
it's
know.
Funny. It's funny. I know people who don't like Caddyshack. I mean, that's why I say that.
I'll be very honest with you. I Laser Blast. I really hated this movie. I think I thought it was pretty miserable. So a lot of movies are better than Laser Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver.
No way.
And finally, Blade Runner.
Okay, I just thought I didn't like Leonard Maltin's like books. Now I'm like, should I ever trust this man's opinion?
Okay, well, if you need any more reason, so these are the movies that are technically on par with Laser Blast. These are movies that have all received 2.5-star ratings. So that means these movies, they're no greater and they're no worse than Laser Blast.
Same level.
Same level. So let's just start it hot. Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, one of the IMDb's greatest movie of all time.
Yeah. About subjectively the same as
yeah, I would say so.
Laser Blast. Marathon Man. After Hours.
Oh my God.
Sophie's Choice.
Really?
These are all just as good as Laser Blast. Don't tell me any different.
I need Mr. Maltin to go up to Meryl Streep and be like, your performance in Sophie's Choice is about on par with Mr. Kim Milford.
I was just enthralled by you as I was by Eddie Deason.
Yeah, I bet his review is just the synopsis for Sophie's Choice, and it's just like, yeah, some of the costumes were great.
Yeah. What a difficult choice.
Hard choice. Must watch.
The Long Goodbye.
That's a great movie.
Amadeus.
That's one of my favorites. I couldn't even. He must have been pissed at that one Best Picture.
Oh yeah, he's like, why wasn't Laser Blast nominated? But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Big Lebowski, the original Willy Wonka, my cousin Benny.
I love that movie.
A Fish Called Wanda, and just the same quality, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
The best one. Come on. Oh God.
And lastly, to finally put the nail in the coffin, I'm going to name 3 movies that he said that are better than Laser Blast, that are better than all these other movies I said.
Top.
Oh, you cop?
No.
What'd you?
No, I said cop, but no.
2003 Daredevil.
What? Wait. It's better than Laserblast, but there was a lot of other movies you
All
named.
those movies I just said, they are worse than Daredevil. Okay.
Wow. That's bad. I was also like, I'm sure I have some takes where you could be like, oh, you say this is better, this is worse, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, like if you said I like Blade Runner more than Amadeus, I'm not gonna fight you about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But now if you say Waterboy is better than Amadeus, which is what he also said, then
No more deserving movie. Adam
yeah,
Sandler gives a performance for the ages.
good water.
Yeah, could
A nice water in the movie.
probably on that I could see that.
And lastly, he loves water a lot. Water World is also better than all those movies that I
Oh
just said.
man, I like Waterworld, but no.
So
I
there you
can't.
have it. Leonard Maltin is speaking facts.
Wow, Leonard Maltin is very wrong. I don't know. Taxi Driver being lower than Waterworld and Daredevil 2003. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, obviously, but
It's
it's
true.
just
It's
like,
true.
but in like we've always said, it's every movie is somebody's favorite movie because some people love a lot of pieces of crap that we've talked about, but I just thought it was funny. It's just like these like modern day classics, and he's like he's
Yeah.
considered like a popular film critic,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
just like,
He's an esteemed critic. That's the thing. We can make fun of his taste because he's like a critic. He's like very critical and he's seen so many movies. His books about movies are like this thick.
yeah.
He,
So it's just funny to think like, yeah, like those are all those movies are worse than Laser Blast.
something tell you sure he watched this movie?
They were a highlight. Maybe he just saw the aliens and he's like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
that's pretty good.
And then he went back to like taking care of his like children and then looked back and the aliens were back in the movies like
Yeah,
this is interesting.
it looks good. That definitely makes up for the other 85 minutes of this movie.
Yeah. Thank thank God I only have to write 3 words about this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're done dissing Leonard. We love you, Leonard. Come on our episode with Charles Band. I'm sure Charles is a fan of yours.
Probably after that review.
Yeah, true. But thank you for that. That was great. But I do think that wraps it up for Laser Blast. I guess for me, not a recommend.
No,
No.
definitely not. It's very, very boring. It's not fun in the slightest. I might watch the Mystery Science Theater one again, but I doubt I would watch this movie again.
Yeah, I'm interested in watching that. That's probably the way to watch this movie because that'll make it at least funny.
Yeah.
But I think that does wrap it up for today. So, Ryan, remind us, what are we going to be covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we're connected for this podcast, but on Thursday we're going to get disconnected with the movie Disconnected from 1984 on Tubi for free.
Oh, thank God. I'm excited.
You got to deal with me a little more.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay. If we become disconnected for one episode, we'll get right back on it.
Yeah, like we normally do.
Mm-hmm. But if you want to email us, you can email us at driveanddoublepodcast@gmail.com. And please do recommend us movies. We'd love to do some more recommendations. Also, you can tweet your recommendations at us at DIDFpod. And also, we are on YouTube. You can subscribe to us over there. And don't forget about our Patreon. I'm plugging so much. We have so much for you guys. We got a lot going on. But until next time.
Until next time.